The roar of the four Rolls-Royce Merlin engines was a familiar song, a powerful vibration that ran right through my bones. Saturday, August 27th, 1943. Another sortie, another night sky painted black as pitch. Up here, amongst the stars, you felt a strange mix of insignificance and immense responsibility. We were a crew, a tight-knit bunch relying on each other with every breath. There was Pilot Officer McIntyre at the controls, steady as ever. Navigator Sergeant Dusty Miller, always with his head bent over his charts. Wireless Operator Sergeant Wiggy Wiggins. His fingers danced across the Morse keyboard. Bomb Aimer Sergeant Taft Davies, peering intently into his sights. And then there were the gunners, Sergeant Spud Murphy in the upper turret, and Sergeant Lofty Stokes in the rear. Their eyes constantly scanning the darkness for any sign of trouble. And me, Sergeant Robert Renfrew, flight engineer, keeping a watchful eye on our Lancaster EE955, call sign Alpha Alpha Delta. South Ayrshire seemed a lifetime away now. My mother Elizabeth and my father Joseph. I could picture their faces so clearly. Their smiles, their worries. I hoped they were alright. I always hoped they were alright. Tonight our target was Wurzburg, a long haul deep into enemy territory. The flak started as we approached the coast, bursts of angry red blossoms in the night. The plane bucked and shuddered, but Mac held her steady. We pressed on. Then it happened, a sudden, violent jolt, a deafening explosion that ripped through the airframe. The lights flickered and died. Smoke filled the cockpit, acrid and choking. The roar of the engines became a strangled cough. Panic flared briefly and sharply before the training took over. Checks, readings, trying to understand the damage. But it was bad. I knew it. Real bad. Mac fought valiantly with the controls, but the Lancaster was mortally wounded. We were losing altitude fast. The ground rushed up to meet us with terrifying speed. There was no time for goodbyes. No time for anything but the raw, brutal reality of the end. The last thing I remember is the screech of tearing metal, the earth rushing towards us, and the sudden, absolute darkness.